Hey guys, Serac here, and today I'm bringing you my Artifact Unchained deck profile, which is another deck like Tenyi that got a lot cheaper with the Mega Tin reprints. So this deck can now be built for under £100, so I hope you enjoy. If you like my content, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with people online so I can help grow my channel a little bit more. Thank you. So, let's begin the deck. We have 3 copies of Unchained Twins Aruha. This allows you to target a card you control, lock you into Fiend-type monsters, and then destroy the targeted card, and special summoning itself. So this is your main way of starting your chain of destruction effects that bring out your Unchained monsters from your deck. Nearly all of your Unchained cards have an effect that says if they're destroyed by a card effect or by battle, except their own effects, you can special summon one with a different name from your hand or deck. We have 3 copies of Unchained Twins Rakea. Rakea allows you to destroy a card you control at instant speed, so in your opponent's turn. And this is really good because you can pop your spells and traps, which all have the same effect if they're destroyed. While set, you can special summon an Unchained card from your hand or deck. It also allows you to pop your artifact cards, which is a tech that I'm running in this deck, which allows you to either pop Moraltach to destroy another card on the field, or to destroy your artifact Scythe to lock your opponent out of the extra deck. Two copies of Unchained Twin Sarama. Unchained Twin Sarama allows you to recycle Unchained cards from your graveyard, and it allows you to set them to your field so you can pop your spells and traps with it as well. And the setting happens before the destruction, so you are allowed to destroy the same card that you set. Two copies of Abominable Unchained Soul. This is 3k beta. It's a level 8, which is relevant for the one Xyz monster we play. It allows you to special summon itself from the hand if you destroy a card by battle or card effect. If it's special summoned, you can discard a card and blow up a card on the field, which does not target. And if it's in the graveyard because it was destroyed, you can special summon it during the end phase of that turn, but it goes back to the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field. Really good card. It's an Unchained Soul, which you need for your Link monsters, has massive attack, and is very easy to get out with all of your special summoning from the deck. 2 copies of Unchained Soul of Disaster. This card gains attack for each Unchained card, not Unchained monster, in your graveyard. It allows you to Link summon in your opponent's turn, which most of your Link monsters also do. So it allows you to make these chains of Link summoning, which allows you to make constant interruptions throughout your opponent's turn. And then if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target an Unchained monster in your graveyard and special summon it. 3 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld. All of your level 3 Unchains activate in the graveyard. So therefore, what this does is it helps bring out level 3 that you can then blow up using one of the many cards you have in your hand and start your chain of effects that way, as well as giving you a free material for a Link 2, such as Nightmare Phoenix or Cerberus later in the game should you need it. Now we get onto the artifact component. I have 1 artifact Moraltach. This is a Spanish one, I believe. And this one allows you to, if it's special summoned during your opponent's turn, destroy 1 face-up card on the field. And all artifacts can be set as spells and traps, and then if they're destroyed, you can special summon them. And because your deck destroys so many cards you control, this is a really good way of getting extra board presence and free effects, essentially. 1 copy of Artifact Scythe, which allows you to lock your opponent out of the extra deck. Other than that, it works the same way as Moraltach. Then for the hand traps, we have 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I chose this one because it says the magical word destroy, which of course means you can destroy your monsters by activating their effect, so you can get multiple chains of destruction and also obviously destroy your opponent's cards to interrupt their plays. You won't be able to use this on your spells and traps because they have to be destroyed whilst set. Now we have 3 copies of Abomination's Prison. This is your searcher card of the deck, which adds any Unchained card from your deck to your hand. So it can search your other spells and traps, but it can't search itself, given it's not an Unchained card, it's an Abomination card. And then, if it's destroyed while set, you can special summon an Unchained monster from your deck. 1 copy of Wailing of the Unchained Souls. This is a really, really good card that you can just set to blow up if you need a special summon, or if you can afford to have it active, it allows you to destroy a card on the field when you link summon an Unchained link monster, which obviously is very, very beneficial for continuing interruptions and breaking your opponent's boards. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. You destroy lots of monsters in this deck. Bringing them back for free is very nice. Now we get onto the traps. We have 3 copies of Torrential Tribute, and I'm repping 3 different rarities here because that's the best way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! If a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. This obviously is a massive interrupt for your opponent and gives you loads of free special summons from your deck, which can then be used to continue your plays and then potentially make into link monsters during your opponent's turn with disaster and so on. Three copies of Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. This is another Monster Reborn, but at spell speed 2. And it can also special summon from the hand should you need to, and has the set card effect. Again, if it's destroyed, you can special summon an Unchained monster from your deck. To Escape of the Unchained. This is almost like a Scrap Dragon-esque effect, if anyone remembers when Scrap Dragon was meta. Target 1 Unchained monster you control, and any card on the field, destroy both. Very simple, allows you to proc your Unchained effects, interrupt your opponent, and obviously get more field presence. And again, has the same set effect as most of your other cards. Now, 3 copies of Artifact Sanctum. This obviously allows you to special summon artifact monsters from your deck, so you can Scythe Lock your opponent at choke points, or blow up a card they control. If it's destroyed, you can also buy your opponent's card. You can target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. Whilst that's not the best synergy with the deck, I believe that the overall artifact synergies are just too good to pass up. However, obviously, if it is destroyed by your opponent's card, you can target your own cards if you want more Unchained monsters on the field. Or you can target your opponent's cards. Three copies of Solemn Strike. We are going first deck. This is the best, I believe, catch-all counter trap that I think could be played. This could be any Solemn card. I would tend to go with Strike or Judgment over Warning, however. If you have them, it could be Infinite Impermanence. It could be something similar like Lost Wind, or anything of that kind of just negate-y or interrupting type trap card effects. Then finally we have 1 copy of Imperial Order. The deck runs 5 spells, and 4 of them you're only ever activating on your turn. The other thing is it only negates their effects on the field, so you will still get the benefit of destroying them, even when they're destroyed while set. So that's the main deck. Now we'll get on to the extra deck. We have 3 copies of Unchained Soul of Rage. This is your main, obviously Link 2. And the Unchained Soul Link monsters all allow you to, during your opponent's main phase, target a special summon monster they control and Link summon 1 dark Link monster, except itself, using that monster as material. You can only use that one other monster as material, so you can't go into much higher links with this unless you're using Link monsters that they control. And then, if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a Fiend-type monster, accept itself, and add it to your hand. We have 2 copies of Unchained Soul of Anguish. This is your Link 3. This has a very, very similar effect to Unchained Soul of Rage, allowing you to summon a Dark Link monster, but by using any monster the opponent controls. So, again, this allows you for more interruptions. You can they special summon a monster, you link it off with the Unchained Soul of Rage into Unchained Soul of Anguish, and now you've got another interruption with Unchained Soul of Anguish, which you can use to link off any monster again. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can again target 1 Fiend monster in your graveyard, accept itself, and return it to the hand. Then we have 2 copies of Unchained Abomination. Now, this card is your major payoff for all those destruction effects. If a card is destroyed by a card effect, except by itself, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. If a monster is destroyed by battle, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. If during the end phase, with no other conditions, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. You can only use each effect of it once per turn. So this gives you so many pops and chains of destruction that it just gets out of control. Just anything gets destroyed, you get to pop a card with Unchained Abomination. That includes your cards, your opponent's cards, your effects destroying your monsters, you choosing to destroy them by battle, or your opponent's. Doesn't matter. And it's got 3000 attack as well. So now we get on to the other bits of the deck that aren't unchained. So firstly we have Topologic Trisbana. Now this is obviously, it's another dark monster, so you can make it with your Unchained Soul monsters, since they only lock you into darks, not fiends. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, banish as many of those monsters, also as many spells and traps on the field as possible, and then inflict 500 damage for each of their cards banished by this effect. It's a Link 3 that's obviously very, very easy to make with Unchained Soul of Rage. It interrupts their plays again by forcing them to avoid special summoning to the zones that it points to, although you have lots of ways, again, of making a monster summon to those zones, and then also helps you win in time. Then we have 1 Topologic Zeraboros, which is essentially a rank 4 version of Trisbana. You cannot special summon to any extra monster zone this card points to, although you can still summon to main monster zones it points to, so that's fine. Each banish card will give it extra attack, and then again, if a monster is special summoned to a zone a Link monster points to, banish all cards on the field. And then during the standby phase of the next turn that has been errated, this is just an old copy of Zeraboros, you can special summon it. This card really, really helps in making OTKs, making your opponent restricted in where they can summon monsters, and again, you can just summon a monster to the arrows really, really easily because you have so many ways of summoning monsters during your opponent's turn. And finally, for the Topologics, we have Topologic Bomber Dragon, which does very, very similar things, only it destroys all monsters in the main monster zones. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, then you also inflict damage equal to that monster's attack. This obviously helps you destroy your Unchained monsters as well as destroying your opponent's monsters, and is very, very good for inflicting huge amounts of damage to your opponent quickly. So now we get onto our Nightmare package. Again, all the Nightmares are fiends, but they have different attributes. So the only one you can make in your opponent's turn is Unicorn. But that's generally okay because that's the best one to make in your opponent's turn. However, we can make all of the Nightmares in this because they're all fiends. So it doesn't matter that your Unchained Twins effects have locked you into fiend type monsters. So we have one Nightmare Griffin. Very, very nice card for this deck, allowing us to set spells and traps that we've used back onto our field, where we can obviously use their effects again or destroy them. And then also it prevents special summon monsters from activating their effects unless they're linked. So it really, really helps in floodgating your opponent's monsters. One Nightmare Unicorn. This is getting a reprint soon in Genesis Impact, so hopefully its price will drop then. And that will make the deck even cheaper. This is just a really, really good out to anything without targeting protection. Just allows you to return one card on the field to the deck. One Nightmare Phoenix just allows you to get rid of any problematic back row your opponent's playing. One Nightmare Cerberus, allowing you to get rid of any annoying monsters your opponent's got in their main monster zone. And finally, as the Xyz component of the deck, one copy of Dingirsu. You run your Unchained Souls in the main deck are all level 8, so you can make this. You won't make it very, very often, but occasionally you'll be very, very glad that you have a way of non-targeting, non-destructing removal in the extra deck. So that's it for the deck profile. In terms of upgrades, the biggest upgrade you could probably do to this deck is adding 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance and making all of the Unchained Soul monsters in the extra deck 3 of, to lessen your chance of banishing all of one from your extra deck, just to give you that raw card advantage. Obviously, other options are building this card deck to go second, which again tends to require cards, expensive cards like Triple Tactics Talents, Forbidden Droplets, or Lightning Storms. Again, this deck runs lots of different attributes, so like most decks, it can run a copy of Access Code Talker if you can afford one. And the other option would be to change the hand traps out for, say, Ash Blossoms and similar. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the deck. If you like my content, please let me know. Please ask for certain deck profiles and I will look into doing them. Thank you for watching.